Everybody, Mary Mitchell here. Thank you for joining me today. I'm going to be explaining how I did this piece. It is a very simple piece, and when I did it, I really didn't know what I was going to paint. I wanted to just create some texture. I just wanted to get back to some basics, take a canvas. I had some hard-body gesso here that I had forgotten that I had. I mixed various shades of blue, light to dark, and I'll list those in the description. And I wanted to play around with some texture. I'm really, that's on my mind a lot lately. So I decided to do this smaller painting and see what I could come up with, and I really liked how it came out. So I showed my husband and I said to him, "What do you see when you look at this?" And he said, "Dolphins. There's dolphins everywhere in there." Now, I don't know if it's because we've been on the boat and we've seen a lot of dolphins more, but I don't think so. Because there's a way that you can work your palette so that you can get that effect rather easily. So I want to show you that, and you're going to watch me do the whole thing. I tape off the borders, and then I also, and you'll see at the very end, I'll do some close-ups where I enhanced the sides instead of just keeping them plain white. I gave them, texture to match the feeling of the painting. So I hope you get adventurous. I hope you get out, some thick paint, some thick gesso, whatever you have. Soft body paste, I find, for me, works a lot easier to work with than the hard body paste. But whatever you have, just experiment, see what you can come up with. You never know. And good luck. Let me know what you did. I'd love to see it. And I hope you get something from this, and we'll see you soon. Bye. Okay, here we go. I took a 11 by 14 canvas. This was really just playing around, so I kept it on the smaller side. I took some tape. I measured 1 inch around on all sides with a ruler, and then I took my tape and I taped off accordingly, as you see me doing right here. I wanted to know what I could do with that. I've seen artists do this, and I was curious to see what I could do with those sides. So you'll see me just go through real quick here doing all of that, and then tucking it underneath. Even though I'm not pouring, you tend to tape the underside when you're pouring so you can keep the back, clean. But that's not what I'm doing here. So anyway, doing all 4 sides, and then when I'm done with that, my plan is to create a piece that has texture. I didn't know what I was going to use. I didn't know what I was going to do. I just ran with it. I read that when you're stuck in the doldrums, you should just paint, and it's rather hard to do that. I have not been overly motivated. I've had a lot of family come down here, and I get sidetracked, and then I get tired. But I made myself do something, and I'm really glad that I did, because this is a springboard, sort of a prototype, although I am going to frame this and keep this or give it to somebody as a gift. I don't know, we'll see. But it doesn't matter. I'm going to use this as a springboard for a larger piece, because when my husband saw the final results, he absolutely loved it. And, we all know that it's very hard to photograph your pieces. There's the hard-bodied gesso that I found in, I guess, Michael's or Hobby Lobby. I forget where I got it from, but I was so happy to find this because I didn't have any soft-bodied paste. So I used that, and it worked beautifully, really did. Just a little denser than soft-bodied paste, but very easy to work with. And I took my colors, which were cerulean blue, some titanium white, and I eventually mixed in some ultramarine blue to get it in sort of the mid colors. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. First I used some sort of like a lime green mixed with the cerulean blue to get sort of a sea foam, but it turned out being more cerulean than that, as you'll see soon. So I'm mixing that up, and then I'm experimenting with colors, and eventually I migrate towards ultramarine, and then I throw some Prussian blue in there towards the bottom. And as you see me work with my palette knife, what you don't see and what I didn't film is at the very end, after I stopped recording, I took my finger along the bottom part of this and I just did some I gently used my index finger and did some very softer waves towards the bottom because I wanted it to be at the top. I didn't know what I was going to see after I did this. All I know is it just took on a life of its own, and I went with it. So the first thing that I'm thinking as I'm doing this is I just wanted to create a water effect, like the top of waves, and that's what I had in mind. And then I figured it really didn't have to be anything special. Again, I've been trying to experiment, we're actually just starting a journey on experimenting with textures and different things that you can do with, palette knives or whatever you have at your disposal to create something unique. And this is what I had at the time, what I felt like working with. Sometimes when you just go with it, as I said, when you get stuck and you just pick up whatever you feel like, whatever you have handy, whatever media you enjoy working with the best. I heard one artist say, or I read somewhere, I wish I could quote the source and who said it, I don't remember, but when you don't feel like doing something, when you feel like you're stuck, go back to what makes you comfortable. Go back to a subject matter that you won't feel stuck. Sometimes we can become overwhelmed with producing. Sometimes we can feel like we aren't good enough, or we see something and we think to ourselves, well, I wish my imagination was a little bit better than it is more times than not. Anyway, so you stop beating yourself up. That's what I have to do regularly, actually, believe it or not. And we all have our issues. But when I release this from what's inside me and I put it on a canvas, that's all I'm thinking about. This is my happy place. That I go to this place and I'm thinking, I'm enjoying what I'm doing. I love the feel of the media under my hand, on my hand, what I'm holding. I love the texture. I love smoothing it. I don't even care at this point, except my only goal here was to create texture and was to create a receding sort of light to dark blue. And what I did is I used ultramarine, I used cerulean mixed with some titanium. There's some Prussian the very darkest that I added toward the end. And I used that with, so eventually all the blues became combined. So it just became darker and darker. And it's very intuitive, it becomes instinctual. You just go with it. And because there's no wrong way to paint water. Let's face it, water comes in every color depending on the sky. And so, don't feel so, well, I have to tell myself, don't be threatened by this. This is fun. This is what makes you happy. Just go with it and see where you end up. And that's exactly what I did. And where I ended up was in a place where I love to be and producing something that I actually really, really like. Not only that I really like a lot, but something that I showed my husband. Another person, could have been anybody, and he saw what I saw, and he said, "Mary, don't do anything to that. Don't enhance it. Don't add any detail. Leave it alone." And except for what I wanted to do on the borders, which you'll see me do here with some paint, which was very easy. And so we're going to get to the part now where I'm done. The part that you don't see is that now if you look below, you see how I smoothed out that darker blue with my finger. I just kind of waved it, and just to smooth it out so it wasn't as choppy as the first. And at first I didn't see dolphins. And then when I showed it to him, I said, "What do you see?" As I said in the beginning, and he said, "Dolphins." I said, "Me too." So he said, "Can you paint a bigger one of that? I really like that." So I said, "Absolutely, yeah, yeah." And now, believe it or not, I'm nervous. Of course, it won't be exactly the same. I'm going to need a bigger palette, but I'm going to have fun with it. And so as I'm pulling off this tape, now I have these nice, clean, unpainted borders. And I had already decided that what I would do is paint them titanium white, but I was going to add texture to that as well, to these 1-inch border all around. So again, that's something that I just pulled out my paintbrushes and a little palette knife, and I just worked around. There's the titanium white, and I go all around the painting as I'm going to let you see, and I create texture. Again, very similar to the movement and the feel of the painting. And on the sides, I did the same thing. At the top, I didn't really worry about the wave texture because I figured that would be where the sky begins, and I just sort of kept that kind of splashy, you really can't see it. But as you see me move the paintbrush around, you can really have a lot of fun with this. I kept it white because I wanted to keep the simplicity of it. I didn't want to try to match those colors that were on the side. It would have ruined it. I didn't want blue. I had a lot of fun with this. Titanium white was a perfect color. I thought about adding silver. I decided, nope, let's just keep it as simple as possible and just get the texture in there and make sure that you can see the texture once it's done. And so this painting, I'm just going to kind of let you watch the rest of it. And just bear in mind that, again, that really worked for me. If you're stuck and you don't know what to do, go back to what makes you feel comfortable, what makes you feel even safe, if you want to put it that way, where you won't feel judged. Do something that you have no intention of showing anybody. It's up to you. You don't have to show your work to anybody. It's yours. It's yours. It belongs to you. It's your creation. If you want to show it to somebody, that's your decision. And that's what you have to remember, is you're not being graded on this. If somebody doesn't like it, tastes range. They're different. Everybody has a different taste, and it doesn't mean that something that I've done or you've done or somebody else did is bad. It's different. It's art, and that's what makes art so absolutely wonderful. So keep painting, my friends. Stick to it. Don't give up. If you give up, go back to what makes you feel good, and have a great day. Thanks for joining me. There's some close-ups coming up at the end. One I show you of it unvarnished, and one is varnished, but these shots that you're looking at is really where you can see the detail the best. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.